Welcome.
Yeah.
I like that.
Thanks.
I really like that.
It was kind of like a Zelda thing, like, the Koroks make funny noises and stuff.
I was thinking more like a Tourette's tick.
Okay. Well, all right. Cool. We can go. My brother has it, so I might have it.
Hey,
Who
I
knows?
mean, it's
Your brother has
I might have it.
You might have it.
Just saying, bro. But anyway, we have a special episode today, and we are joined by my sister. We know her, we love her, we miss her, and she's here with us today.
What's up?
Ayo.
Ayo.
Here.
Yeah, we miss you. I miss you and Jack so much. I've seen you more recently than I've seen Jack.
He hasn't been here since Christmas.
I know.
Because Emily was at Azalea with us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I came here for that and a wedding.
Yes.
And he had to stay and work.
And how you guys been in Florida? It's been how long since y'all moved?
Good. We moved. It's like a couple of weeks ago was a year.
Oh, amazing.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
July 17th was a year.
That's awesome.
Oh, wait. That was a month ago today.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So it's been a year and a month.
Shout out and happy birthday to our cousin Lee.
Yeah. Happy birthday,
His
Lee.
birthday
Lee.
today.
Aw, shout out Lee.
Today's his birthday. But yeah, we've been good. It's starting to feel like home. I really love the area. We are starting to learn our favorite spots,
That takes years sometimes.
it takes a
in a
long
new
time,
place.
and it's flown by, and I've been really grinding like crazy with my business stuff. Like since the last time I was on the show, like, I mean, there's been so many changes. It's like just been a lot of work, I'll just say.
Yeah.
Which I'm proud of, and I'm grateful that I've had the time and the space to work on it. But it's kind of been taking all of my energy, that and then working on my music, which has been exciting. But yeah, we're good. We're doing good.
Your business is killing it, by the way. Like every time I look at your business page, it's like the number is significantly higher. Like it's awesome.
I appreciate that, and I'm pouring a lot of love into it. So I'm glad that it's reaching people, which is good. Yeah,
the work is paying off. Like
thanks.
It can feel like a lot, I'm sure, but it's totally paying off.
Yeah, it's ups and downs. You have to really teach yourself to love the downs and love the ups. That's with anything. So it's applicable to everything, which is a good lesson. But yeah, last time I was here, I was talking about my new program, which is the Your Holistic Voice. And since then, I have created a whole new program. So now I have 2 full programs and a subscription service, which is like kind of like Patreon, but it's for education. It's through a platform called School. Yeah, so that's been like a lot.
I actually didn't know about that.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Give us the quick rundown of the other course and the subscription thing. Like
So and I'll just say, because a lot of people have been interested in Your Holistic Voice, which is, I talked kind of in depth about it on the most recent episode I was on. But that is, I just want to be clear for people, like if you aren't a singer, but you're looking for some sort of holistic healing, or you're going through a spiritual awakening and you're struggling, or you want to learn to regulate your nervous system or use singing as a healing tool, this is still a great program for you. It's not focused on technique. So it's about improving your voice, but improving your voice also metaphorically. So like your relationship to yourself and your authenticity, and healing and growing and feeling in your power and moving through spiritual crisis and like overcoming trauma and stuff. So for singers that have been through stuff like I had in the past, it's monumental. But it also, like, I have people in there that aren't singers at all, and they're like loving it.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So a lot of songwriters, actually, some people that just like to chant, like singing, like with like sound bath stuff, like they just like to use their voice, but they're not singers. But then my second program that I just started is more technical.
Cool.
So this is like, we're going to learn about the voice.
For the singers.
And this is how you're going to do it. And the goal with this is to not make people have to pay me forever. Because typically voice lessons, you go once a week for like years and years and years until you die. Right? Like, and you depend on your voice teacher to help you when you need it. And so my goal was to educate people enough to where they could identify what was going on so they could address it and improve it And I help them with that. And there's the community and then like all the educational stuff, but also in the future when I'm not with them, they don't have to wonder what's happening and why do I feel so upset about it? Like, I don't know how to fix this.
You teach them how to address those issues.
Yeah, without having to like learn all the pedagogy stuff to be a teacher or something. But it's just
What is
enough.
pedagogy?
Pedagogy is like the study of teaching. So I'm a vocal pedagogue, and I just turned in my last paper for my vocology certification. So that's amazing. Vocology is like a whole nother thing. But pedagogy, the study of teaching. So for voice pedagogues, that is like voice science and voice teaching methods. It's a lot. It's the perfect blend of artistry and like science. Because for the voice, it's so science-based, like with anatomy and function and physiology, and then art, like you're a singer, like it's music.
Yeah.
So there's a lot in it. It's very crazy. So I don't teach all of that stuff specifically, but a lot of it enough for people to know how to address it for themselves and to improve and give them a list of things they can do, exercises and whatever. And then like brain drills, because I'm a neurocentric teacher. So everything is through the lens of what's going on with your nervous system and how can we use that to improve your singing for this program. And then for your holistic voice, it's how can we address the nervous system for the global benefit, like not just the voice, but you as like a human.
Mm-hmm. That's
so it's
so unique.
Two different modes here. So I have the holistic one for people that like singer or not. If you're going through it and you need some support and healing, that's great for you. Or the technical one, or you could do both. I have people that do both. And then for my subscription service, it's for people who aren't willing or not ready to commit. Maybe don't want to go super in depth with either. They just want some consistent, like good information.
Cool.
And
cool.
a community. So like you can unlock chances to work with me privately. You can unlock a lot of resources that I've created and different things. I'm trying to forget all the perks you can unlock in there. Oh, I host like events where you can join in and do like a master class with me. But I post weekly content in there. Like
videos and instructional videos, informational stuff.
Yeah, and it's
That's
a blend.
sick.
It's kind of a blend of holistic and technical, but it's nowhere near as in depth as the coaching programs. But I'll just say the names of them, and then we can move on. But the subscription service is called the Smart Singers Society, which is
Love
so
that.
cute.
I
Yeah,
love that.
and there's already over 100 people in there.
Wow.
Which is so
Wow.
cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I know.
That's incredible.
It's so, and people are really loving it, and they're finding it super helpful. So the Smart Singer Society, it's affordable. It's cheaper than the price of one single voice lesson, and you get a month's worth of content and everything. Like, it's my way of helping as many people as I can while
that's
still
awesome.
sustaining myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I have so many people wanting lessons, and I can't give everybody lessons. It's so much.
Of course.
So I'm trying to spread the love, you know. But then the coaching programs, I've got the Your Holistic Voice and then the Mastery program. But yeah, that's all through my Instagram, Emily Holloway Voice.
So awesome. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
You are knocking it down.
I wake up, I go to the gym, took a cold shower, and I just start the grind. And then I eat, and then I work again, and then I go to bed. That's my week. And then on the weekends, Jack and I go to Fort DeSoto and hunt for sand dollars.
What?
Oh, that's awesome.
That's
know.
something that I really want to learn, because there's like a science to it, right? There's like a technique to it.
What we do, so there's this place called Fort DeSoto. It's kind of an island south of St. Pete. You know, we're in Clearwater, so you just drive through St. Pete and then on the bridge to Fort DeSoto. It's a park, a state park, I think. But there's like camping, you can rent kayaks, and it's on this little island. But there's a sand dollar beach there. And so it's like loaded with sand dollars. And so we just take our snorkel goggles out there and our snorkels, and we just like for hours are just like face down in the water, like hunting.
That's so
It's so
fun.
amazing.
That's cool.
It's our favorite thing
so
about living
fun.
there. We're always like, sand dollars?
I'd always heard about people finding like shark teeth, and I never found one until the first time we went to the beach
Yeah.
after moving here. Mm-hmm. They Casey broke down there's like a technique
Yep.
and all this stuff to finding it, and I found one. But
I don't
like
think I've ever found one.
I've always wanted
found
to
one.
find a sand dollar.
Oh my gosh. Well, if you come to Sand Dollar Beach, literally everyone's like, I found one. I found one.
They're
like people
everywhere?
around you. They're everywhere. I don't even have to look down in the water. I can just feel with my foot and I'll feel something and I'm like, I reach down. It's a sand dollar.
They're here. You can find
Sand
them
dollar.
here. I found one last time I went to the beach.
We also have a Sand Dollar Island.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
they're-
have to get there by boat.
they're
at low
everywhere here.
tide.
I know somebody's got a boat.
That's true. We haven't.
You should probably
used it
go with
this year.
them then.
He back there wearing a white shirt right now.
You know what? We should make a concerted effort to do some sort of final beach hoorah before this summer's over. Because
Hoorah, Fort
I'm
Bragg.
saying, bro, because I mean, look, I was in Europe for a month during the summer, so I feel like I had no summer. So
Yeah.
just saying, we should
Yeah.
do something.
Yeah, I'll fly down for it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just for that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. No, but it's great. It's great. I'm loving Florida.
Amazing.
I'm loving it. And I did want to say, it's so funny because y'all remember when I was talking the first time, I know we're going to talk about Monroe stuff, but the first time I was sharing that story about when I looked down and that rock was there on the beach and it
Yeah.
was orange and it was like glistening.
Oh,
And I
yeah,
was like, I'm
yeah.
in my orange period now.
Right.
And I still have it. Well, I wish I had a photo. Maybe we could put it in the episode. But my apartment literally, like the what do you call it? The apartment complex, like around the patios, it's all just those rocks.
No way.
Yes.
wow.
Like that exact same rock. And there was not a single other one on the beach that day when I
You probably freaked out when you first got there.
when I got there and I'm like, wait, it's all just my rock.
oh
like,
my God.
This thought just
That's
came to me.
unbelievable.
I
Isn't
might be
that
out
so
your
cool?
way. I might be out your way pretty soon
oh, good.
because
Come
that
stay.
one guy who wanted me to come out to. I don't want to say.
Who it is?
Yeah, but someone had wanted me to come out to the Tampa area to do a show. Remember we talked about it a while ago? He just messaged me again the other day. You
Oh,
still want to
good.
come down? So I'm like,
Great.
maybe.
Come on.
So, yeah, I might be down your
It'll
way.
still be hot for a while. We can go to like a spring. Oh, we went to the Devil's Den spring.
Oh yeah, how was that? Was
like
the
a
water
hot,
cold?
like a hot spring?
It's an underground prehistoric spring. And
Is the water cold or hot?
It's cold.
Okay.
It's
Because I went to a cold spring in Florida.
Yeah, well, they're all 72 degrees year round, all the springs in Florida. And so this spring in particular it was like TikTok famous, I think, for a while because it's so aesthetic. Like you
Really?
go down this ladder underground in this like cavern, and then there's just like the open water. It's a big circle.
Florida
with a-
is so cool.
Do you have to pay to go to stuff like that?
yeah,
Oh.
it was like $15.
Ugh.
But you snorkel in there. It's like 50 feet deep, clear blue water.
Oh my god.
That's
And you have the fins,
it's cold.
and there's like only turtles and fish in there.
You ever been in the spring, dude? Mm-mm. It's like the one I was in was called I think it was a blue spring because there's
There's a
multiple
blue
types
spring.
of springs. And the water was like 62 degrees,
It's cold.
which that doesn't sound cold.
Oh, for water, like immersed in your whole body, that's cold.
It was cold.
That's cold.
It took me. Granted, this was
Jack
before.
was-
Oh yeah, I mean, this was before I found out about like cold showers and Wim Hof and all that stuff. And this was like 4 years ago. I got in there and it took me probably 30 to 45 minutes to like bravely like go in the water, like standing with my legs.
Was it in Florida?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. And it's just it was so cold, dude. But now, I mean, you know, the cold showers help you get used to it better. And now it's a piece of cake, but it's awesome, dude.
I would love to go see something
And there's
like that.
manatees.
Yeah, they're just like state parks.
And they
so
come up
cute.
to you and they're like, don't touch the manatees. Because you could give them like an infection if you touch them. So, but they come up and they like rub up on you. They haven't done it to me, but it's
Is that a
thing.
new thing?
It's a
Not being
thing.
able to touch them?
I don't know how recent it is, but it's like a big deal.
I've always heard that.
Like
'Cause
you
I
just
went-
don't want to hurt their skin.
Yeah, I went on a class field trip, and the rule was you had to touch them with one hand only. This was probably 2012.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well,
so
maybe it's
they're
recent.
endangered. So they were like, you
Yeah.
cannot put two hands on them, and they were like, there's people out there, park rangers, pretending to be tourists that will like give you a ticket if they see you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or they were just trying to scare us.
Oh, wow.
I don't know.
No.
When I was in the third grade, we adopted a manatee. Our class
Aw.
never saw it.
I have a dolphin.
Never saw it.
Mom. Mom, she got me and Jenny for I think it was Valentine's Day. Our Valentine's gift for Mom was an adopted creature. Mine was a dolphin named Bill who lives in the Gulf near where I am, and I can
cool.
track on my phone where Bill is.
Oh,
You should hunt him down.
He lives near me. He's
Right?
sometimes he's like 20 miles off my coast.
Just get a jet
That's
ski or a
so
boat and go
cool.
hunt him down and try to like.
Then we'll just.
You gotta meet him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Jenny has
Come here, Bill.
Jenny has a turtle named Dobby
Aw. Well, she also has turtles named Damien, Devontae, Douglas, and Darius.
Yeah.
and Dobby.
Yeah.
And Dobby.
Because turtles just keep rolling up in our yard.
That is funny. You know, the name Damien is Jack's fake name. If we ever have to have a fake name, he's like, my name's Damien.
Well, you know why, right?
Why do you need to have a fake
You know,
name?
just like to mess with people.
But you know why
Damien.
Damien's his name, right?
What?
Why?
Because he's Robin.
I was about to say because Damian
Oh.
Wayne.
Yeah. Because me and Jack are Batman and Robin.
Hey.
I don't know. I think it's just one of those like.
It's Robin.
It just like popped in his head. He's Damien.
It's Robin. I'm
Okay,
telling you, I know my
okay.
brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's Bruce Wayne's son.
He's
He's obsessed. Dude, we have a DC obsession together. I'm just telling you. I know that boy.
We believe you.
I don't know anything
We
about
believe
him.
you.
Apparently, I know nothing.
I swear to God.
I know more than you.
Who did I marry? All he thinks about is pickleball and One Piece these days.
Yeah.
And
And Marvel
I
and
prayed
DC.
for years that he would one day come around to anime.
Oh, bro.
And he would never give it a chance until Ryan and Jeremy pressured him, and now he won't shut up about anime.
Well, I mean, we just got
And I-
together. We just got together, and it's like, look,
he didn't care when I cared.
if you're going to be married to my sister, here's my philosophy on life, okay? And you don't have a younger sister. You have an older sister, so it's different.
I'll have a younger sister-in-law soon.
That's true.
That's true.
But here's my philosophy in life. If you are going to marry my little sister, you are going to enjoy things with me.
Okay.
You owe it to me.
All right.
So if I want you to watch anime, get fucking started. We're going to watch some anime.
Okay.
You know how far Jack is?
I think he might be past me.
He's almost out of Whole Cake Island.
Oh yeah. I
He's
mean,
in
I'm,
the 850s.
I'm in
800.
I'm in Wano, so I'm in like the early 900s. But I've been watching the show for 2 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Jack started watching what?
In,
six
like,
months?
August.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe like a year ago.
A year ago.
No, he started after your birthday last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh right, because we were talking about it like the whole weekend.
I showed up in December and he was near the beginning.
Okay.
Remember I stayed with you last December?
Yeah.
So
8
in
months
less
ago?
than a year, he has watched the same amount as me in like 2.5 years.
He loves it.
I'm just saying,
It's the
man.
best. I
He,
mean,
he'd
it's-
been with my sister, and we bonded on the DC and the Marvel thing, but I never could get him to buckle on the anime, dude. And Emily would be like, "You gotta watch this with me. You gotta watch that with me." And he's like, "Ah." And
Now he's like, "Oh, what are we gonna start? Like,
Dude,
what's our new anime?"
we finally got him to cave and watch One Piece, and I haven't seen him in 8 months, and he was like in the beginning of One Piece, never seen another anime. Last night he was like, "Dude, you have got to keep watching the anime. Don't just read the manga. The animation, the fight scenes,
It's true.
the humor,
Yeah,
the
you gotta watch
emotion."
it.
It's true. There are some arcs I feel like you should just read. Like,
Yeah.
Like he's about to be at Fishman Island. I told him like you could probably just read that.
It's not the most memorable. You
It's
can
not.
Really?
Punk Hazard is pretty sick towards the end.
Yeah.
And then Dressrosa, you gotta watch.
you have
that.
to watch Dressrosa.
You gotta watch Dressrosa.
But anyway, my dreams have come true. I have an anime prince now.
Yeah, well, you can thank your brothers.
Anime
You can thank me and Jeremy.
We started Naruto, and he's
Let's go.
he's been enjoying the first few episodes, which I've been warning him. Like the first few episodes are notoriously like not the best.
It's like the first 12 or so.
people
Yeah.
don't love the
Till it
first
gets to
little
Zabuza.
bit. But he's like, we can watch another one.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
I was gonna grip him.
Yeah, a few years ago, me and Casey watched it for her first time,
Yeah.
and I was telling her the same thing. Like, it's pretty slow when it first
Yeah,
starts,
yeah.
but then I watched the first episode, and I was like, "This is kind of sick."
I still love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
No, it's funny because the other day I happened upon my wisdom teeth removal video.
Oh.
And if you want to know how long I've been watching One Piece, I sang the entire One Piece theme song while I was all drugged up
That was
after
a
the
long time
surgery.
ago.
It was
Dude.
It was like 9 or 10 years ago.
I remember chilling in your room, and you had your iPad sitting on his couch watching One Piece. Freaking 8 years ago? It has to be.
It was more than that.
Oh yeah, probably 10 years ago. I mean, this is when we were still in high school, or maybe
Yeah.
just out of high school,
Yeah,
or
just out of
something
high
like
school.
that. Like
Yeah.
you've been watching it forever.
It's
Yeah,
the best.
That's crazy.
It's so good.
Yeah, it is.
I'm waiting every week for a new episode to come out.
Yeah, you're caught up.
It
now.
sucks.
That's why I thought about reading. It's like
The most recent episode, or one
I watched
of them,
it. I watched it. I watch all the
with the wait.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the one this week. The one before.
Galaxy.
There's just some crazy stuff.
yeah. Well,
Anyway,
I
I've been rewatching Sailor Moon Crystal.
oh, that's cool. Is that the remake?
It's so good. Yes, it's the remake. It's
That's
closer to the manga. There's
Oh.
less filler. It's a little different than the original, but I think if you're ever gonna watch either, you could just watch that.
I've never
it's
seen
less,
any Sailor Moon.
It's so good
Really?
and it's so
Never.
blatantly esoteric.
It's
Really?
cool.
So blatant.
Sailor Moon's cool.
So then if I
It's
wanted
like-
to watch some of it, just watch Crystal.
Yeah.
I've never seen any of it.
You know
Yeah.
the
It's close enough to the original, and I think in the ways that count.
Oh, cool.
When I was little, Ryan was watching DBZ. I was like sneaking my VHS tapes of Sailor Moon at night when I was like really little. That was my show. But yeah, Sailor Moon Crystal is really good.
Let's go.
you know the creator of Sailor Moon is married to the creator of Yu Yu Hakusho and Hunter x Hunter.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're husband and wife.
That's badass.
Yes.
Isn't it?
That's so badass.
Yes, I actually have kind of a synchronicity with the Sailor Moon stuff, with the Monroe stuff.
Oh, really?
I can't wait
Well,
to
let's
talk
go
about
into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, wherever you want to go. I mean, whenever you're ready, because Monroe's going to be a lot, I think, to unpack. So.
Okay. I don't. Well, can you prompt me some questions? I mean, that's kind of broad for me to just say go. Like,
Well,
there's just so much.
Here's the deal. You have been there twice, plus you've done a creation station. But the thing that I think is really something that makes sense to me now, after having been there, is, you know, you first went there 2 years ago, and there's probably been a lot of dramatic change that has unfolded in your life since being there.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
You know, rehashing your first trip there, but I want to hear about it, you know, again, from like a different perspective, having recently been there.
Yeah, I think it's really cool to see now that you've been there, and some of my students, because this is an exciting thing. Like the reason I just did Creation Station, which is one of their
Other programs.
right?
It's a Monroe program.
Yeah. The reason we did that is because I was able to set up a private group just for my Your Holistic Voice people. So it was just for my program and we did a private virtual retreat. And I have to say, the virtual retreat was awesome. I wasn't sure if it would live up to the in-person retreat because I've been twice. And I thought it was really fabulous. I really did. Like I thought it was different, obviously, but there's something special about being there in person at Monroe, because it's magical. You're like in this new world, like you're really immersed. But there's also something special about experiencing it virtually in your home and practicing all of that in your space, and you're walking around, you're viewing your life in a new way. You know what I mean? Like it's very personal and
Comfortable, I'm sure.
it's comfortable, but it's also the immediate perspective shift is happening while you're in your own environment. And that's really interesting to me. I didn't expect that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah, because I imagine going there, you're there and it's amazing and profound and everything. And then when you come back, it takes some time. You come back and then you can kind of start to see it through a different lens.
Right.
But if you're like experiencing it while you are at home, where you spend
Yes.
all of your time, you're like immediately getting that
Yes.
perspective shift. That sounds really cool too.
Yeah. No, I thought that was really special about it. And then of course, like the frequencies are the same, like
Yeah, it's the
level.
same
It's the same
sounds.
thing. It's just your home.
Yeah.
Right. And you're like prompted to like maybe blindfold yourself or dark curtains or whatever. So you just have to manage that kind of thing. But anyway, the Creation Station event we did was 3 days, and the focus for it is to I don't want to give away any of the special details about it, but
let me say it like this too, because we both had chats with Ignacio, and I've been like talking to him separately about just different like Monroe related things. But keep in mind that we are about to go through Creation Station.
Right.
Me, Nick, and Alex. So what I'm interested is hearing what you experienced what it was like without, front loading, as they say, because they don't want to front load.
Right.
The preparation, what we should expect, like this is this exercise with this exercise and you should feel this,
No.
But like I want to know like how profound it was for you and like the actual things you did experience.
No, I think that this one in itself is very applicable, not only to a creative outlet, but to like your normal processing, like everyday perspective and like processing, like how I'm going to do something, how I'm going to problem solve, how I'm going to communicate with someone. Your perspective, it's all about aligning with
creative intelligence,
your creative consciousness, right? Aligning with and being able to retrieve that, right? So it's all about that. In itself can be applied to anything. And so where like Gateway or anything else, it seems like it's very opening.
Gateway is 101.
It's opening.
It's Monroe 101.
This is very, there's great tools.
Right. And
like things that you just, you'll just in your normal day, like something will come up and you're like, oh, well, I know what to do with this now. Like you just, and then it's, I don't want to give away the secrets, but I have found it extremely useful in things outside of my creativity.
It's more helpful for us who are about to experience it if she doesn't front load us with like what we should expect.
Expectations
will happen.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it's like, hearing about things that you, because I did talk to you guys.
Yeah.
Days after you completed it, and I know that like some people there were having very profound experiences. But I just want to say for the listener, so Monroe obviously has a lot of programs, and this is the interesting thing about this kind of situation that we're in, is that Emily actually never had a Gateway experience, because every time Emily has ever been invited to Monroe has been for a private, closed access retreat, 2 times residential, going there in person, 2022 and 2023, and then the Creation Station, which you just did like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And then when I was invited there, it was a private event, but it was the actual Gateway. So whereas Emily has done a lot of profound Monroe techniques and exercises, it was accelerated. It was very accelerated. And then the difference is I started from literally step 1, and over a week they walked me all the way through from like the technical, step by step perspective. So we had completely different experiences, but they were similar.
Yeah, no, it's so cool. I loved listening to, and we, over when Ryan left Monroe, we talked in depth about it, but listening back on your episodes as well were really great, because I realized how different our experiences were with my first and second time there. Because literally I had no idea what to expect. I was not prepped at all. And
Same.
I was not really in the best state, I guess. The first time I went, I was struggling pretty hard personally, whether or not I knew it. Had a lot of personal development happening at that time. And I went, and I was actually kind of nervous about going because we didn't know what this thing was. We didn't know, like...
You were invited out of the blue.
We were invited, and Dad, like, really wanted me to go. I was, not by him, but by, like, the collective that was involved. They were, like, really telling me, I need to go. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to go. I don't know what to expect. So I go there, and it's, like, an accelerated program, which means, like, the stuff that...
She went to levels that I didn't even have access to in a whole week there.
And I wasn't like, trained on
here,
how
go to Focus 27.
I wasn't like... And that's when I had that really profound, that I kept calling the Vision Quest, because I was not like...
Dude, let me put it this way.
Everyone else that had been there, like, they did that because they knew the people going there were either experiencers, so they have, like... experience with consciousness, or they had been through Monroe a bunch. So everyone there was safe to do these higher levels, but I didn't know what to expect. I did not feel prepped, and I'm not upset about it. It's amazing. Like, it was meant to be. But looking back, it's literally like I was just thrown in I was just thrown in the deep end. They would briefly say, okay, well, just think about like a ball of energy like around you. Just think about, and you're like, okay, great. And then it's just like you leave your body and you're like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, like what is this?
I'll put it to you this way. When I was there back in June, and I was sitting with Alan Evans, the CEO, and
she's who taught me how to bend spoons.
really,
Yeah,
that's cool.
she's so sweet.
Yeah, she's amazing. And yeah, I was sitting with her just after lunch, I think, and we were talking, and she was like, "How's Emily?" "Oh, Emily's great," and all this, and "How's your dad?" And we were just catching up. And then she said, "I'll never forget it. Me and Bob Holbrook laugh about this all the time." Bob Holbrook is one of the audio engineers. And she said, "Me and Bob Holbrook laugh about this all the time, but Emily went to, I think she said it was Focus 27, and then she woke up from the meditation. You know what I mean, wake up? Like you're not asleep, but you're coming out of it.
Right.
And she said, this is the part I will never forget, that she got out of the meditation, she picked up her phone, she called her husband, Jack, and said, 'I'm changed,' and hung up."
No, you did not.
I really did. I did because
But why did you hang up immediately?
I don't know.
I'm changed.
I was joyful.
She said, "I'm changed," and hung
I
up.
was just.
Imagine that from his perspective, though. Like, that's beautiful and amazing.
I was so changed.
But he must have been like, what?
No, listen.
Like, what? What does that mean? He has no information.
It's so good. Because,
That's awesome.
But looking back, it's been a few years since then now. Like I said, I was struggling. I wasn't doing too great. Whether or not I realized it, I was not really in a good place. And I go there, and I just remember looking back that I was very, very shy, very quiet, kind of sad. Like, and there's all these amazing Monroe people and all these amazing experiencers we're meeting and like all this stuff happening. And I was just like polite and I was enjoying myself, but I was just kind of sad, just really low energy, not big personality. I was, just very dull, I guess.
Yeah.
And so each experience I had there, each tape we did, I just remember crying and like releasing something. Mm-hmm. Whether or not I was seeing something, I would just have this big emotional release, or something would transform or shift. And I would see things and like maybe leave my body. But then on that final one was when I had that really intense out of body. And I felt so incredibly light after it. I couldn't stop smiling. I was jumpy and bouncy. And I just was like, I'm changed.
Yeah.
Like I just was like euphoric. And I didn't know how to explain it other than that. And Bob is just, it's funny because Bob is like, he's a hilarious guy. He's really kind of dry humor. So he doesn't like laugh a whole lot. But he thought that was funny. And he was laughing pretty good.
It's hilarious.
So yeah, like I was just kind of like shy, quiet Emily the whole time, like Chris's little daughter, and then I was just like, I'm changed and like happy and funny. But
how far through the weekend was that?
it was the last meditation.
Oh, wow.
So it was the final night.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you have to integrate, which is like,
That's rough.
now that you've been through it though, I love getting to see how you've been experiencing it, because it actually helps me understand better what I've been going through.
It was very rough for me to integrate.
Because they just kind of tell you, or they at the time they just kind of told me like, just try to stay grounded.
Yeah, they're like, grounding's important. It's really important.
And you're like, months later, you're like, what?
Am I grounded? No, I mean, it's not quite like that, but
I never felt unsafe. I don't mean to sound like that.
no.
Just,
I'll tell you exactly why it was so rough. Because when I was there for the first time in my life, I felt like I was in an environment where I was normal. Mm-hmm. Like I wasn't the weird one, and everything that was happening there was just completely normal and acceptable by everybody. And I was actually pretty happy to come home. But then when I got home, it just kind of settled in like, what if I never feel that way again?
yeah.
The fear.
Yeah.
Well, something that I,
What if I never feel like in that kind of environment again?
yeah. Well, something that I thought was kind of profound is like, when you've experienced consciousness like this, you can't unknow it.
Well, it's
You
like
can't
riding a roller
unsee
coaster.
it.
Once you've been on a crazy roller coaster for the rest of your life, you know what it's like being on a roller coaster.
You just can't unknow it. And so applying that to your life is, it's a lot, But this time I felt like the integration was, I was expecting it. It wasn't anything crazy, but there was a lot of synchronicities and I kept calling them pre-memories. So, okay, let me explain. Ignacio, shout out Ignacio. Love you, buddy.
Ignacio is a wonderful, wonderful human being.
He is. He's my bud. And he led Creation Station for my group. And so I texted him before the event and I was like, are pre-memories normal? And he was like, I was hoping you'd notice.
So what's a pre-memory?
I hope that's not private, or I should have said that. But basically it's like, my interpretation is, as you're approaching this event where you're going to be exploring consciousness, your consciousness is already altered before you experience it.
Like more or less it's aware because you've had the intention and you're
like the intention is set leading up to the event, like
time
from
and space
the time
are not relevant to consciousness.
Right. So from the time you've accepted I'm doing this thing, it's already shifted.
Right.
It's already different. And then I was having a lot of I just was calling them pre-memories. It's like I would just see something happen and then it would happen later.
Right.
It felt like recalling a memory, but it hadn't happened yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I've had that kind of stuff my whole life, and it's usually in like either really significant moments of my life or like really mundane moments of my life.
Right.
Like I had a recurring dream that happened maybe 2 or 3 times, and I never knew what it was. And then the day of my wedding, I looked around and was like, "Oh my God, this is it!"
Wow.
Yeah, we were like getting changed. It was like me and my groomsmen getting changed, and it was like we were getting changed in some weird storage room. So when I would have the dream, I'd be like, "Where am I? And,
What is this?
Yeah, and why are these specific people around me?"
Yeah.
And then it happened, and I was like, "Whoa!"
Well, it's like I guess it's kind of like your consciousness imprints significant moments, and then you can just tap into it at different times in your life.
Yeah.
And I think leading up to a big event like Monroe, where you're really diving into consciousness, you're tapping into that stuff. So I was having a bunch of pre-memories of stuff that I was going to in the future experience through that, which was really cool. But I brought my little, what'd you call it? What is this? A journal? I brought my journal.
Dang, you filled that thing out.
Well, this was my first one. So this is from my original trip.
Oh, nice.
And my second trip. So this has all 3 of my...
Oh, that's
wow.
so cool.
That's cool. That's a good idea.
It's
I'll
got
use
all
the same
of it in
journal.
one.
Yeah,
journal.
it's all
That's
in
cool.
one.
Very cool. Great idea. I learned a long time ago that when you're having like a glitch with your words, it's easier to just own it and just like record scratch,
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I be stuttering.
Yeah. I don't know. Where do you want to go from here? Like, what should I...
Well, we still haven't really talked about Creation Station. Like we've only scratched the surface. I want to know, like, what did you experience? Again, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to be on. And it's only because for the audience who's listening, it's not that we're trying. It's not a secret. It's just we are about to actually go through it. Like the BSS team is literally about to take Creation Station in December. So and Ignacio basically told me like. The less we know about the process, about to go into it, it's just better for us, to go in with like open expectations.
Sure.
But he was like, but you guys should talk about like your individual experiences and your experience, right? Like this happened to me. I felt this. So would you say it was like, were you speaking to your higher self?
Yeah, I can tell you.
What kind of phenomenon occurred? What like?
Okay, so let me say with Creation Station, the goal isn't to just leave your body.
Right.
That's not what this is. This is about practical.
That's gateway. That's the gateway.
This is practical. Like you're gonna do higher consciousness stuff. If that happens, great. It could, right? But this is more about learning to navigate your creativity.
Okay. That's what it's specifically for like creatives. It's like an art.
So creatives being musicians, artists, business owners, people that problem solve, which is everybody. So everyone could really benefit from this, but especially people who depend on that creative sauce to
that's the thing. The creative sauce, like the whatever that is, like the inspiration
right
out there.
And it's funny because you talked about you asked me a few years ago, you're like, do you believe in the muse?
Yeah.
And this is kind of goes with that.
Oh, I need it. I need that
It is
bad.
so like that.
I need it bad. I need to
in
just
that-
like, I feel like it's so fickle sometimes.
It's not.
Right. I know it's not. I know there's a way that I can like
Yeah.
tune into it.
So
and
this is perfect.
I need that.
This
I
is
need it.
perfect. Yeah, so I can kind of share like
Yeah, I want to know like your takeaways, like some of the things that it might have helped with, and
How was it integrating after that? Do you feel like similar to your first Monroe trip and maybe even your second Monroe trip that now that you're 2 weeks post creation station, has it made lasting changes in your perspective about things? These are the kinds of things that
Yeah.
I'm curious to know.
Yeah, I feel like it has made huge changes. I would say lasting. It's only been a few weeks, but I really do feel a difference from it.
Is it compounding from the other two Monroe experiences? Like,
Yes, they build really well. They partner really well, but this feels way more practical than the other two. This feels like something I can apply when I'm not listening to the tapes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can just
good.
throughout the day. And so like I would, you're doing all the meditations. I would have different experiences with each one. Like for one, I would just have immediate, like through the methods you're doing, right? I would have immediate answers to problems I was having
Good.
with
That's
certain
awesome.
things, specifically with music. Like what's the answer to this thing? I would just, it would come to me. I know what to do now. And that's it. I know what to do. Literally wrote an entire new song in that weekend just because of this. Like I will share about this. So I was telling Ignacio, I actually told you, Nick, a few months ago, there's like this presence, there's this song that keeps coming to me, and I just keep getting flashes in my mind of this butterfly, and it's like bluish purple, and this doesn't have to make sense to anyone but me, but this is what was showing up for me, and it had like these eyes or something, and as soon as I would try to view it, I knew it was like the presence of a song coming in a way that I could recognize it in my own consciousness or whatever. I couldn't like really capture it.
grab it.
It was just there. And so through some different tactics, I didn't even have to think about that butterfly. I forgot about it. I like completely forgot about it. But through this, that song came through and I realized it was the butterfly. And it's like, oh my gosh, it was just there the whole time, blah, blah, blah. These are the tools to help me access it, not to capture it because it's already there, not to learn about it because it's already there. It's like, I want to remember it. I want to remember the song.
Yes.
Help me remember the song or whatever.
Yeah.
Help me see this song from a different perspective so I can bring it out, And so bringing that forward and learning about sort of timing and how important that is, because I felt like this song couldn't come through without me watching a specific episode of Sailor Moon Crystal that I was watching that weekend.
Really?
In between, like when our day would end, Jack was out of town, so it was just me. So that's all I was watching all weekend. And there was like this specific moment that happened, and the music and what happened in the episode, it just hit me. This is what I need.
Oh yeah.
And so it's like learning to access not only the juice, but it's like the signs too.
The signs.
And picking up the little nuance.
Me and Jenny had a billion moments like that with The Sopranos. You know what I think, just to add on to like the validity of what you're experiencing, I've noticed that there are some times, like, because, by myself, I'll watch, like superhero shows, anime, stuff like that, and obviously my wife doesn't like stuff like that. So then when it's she and I hanging out, we'll watch things like The Sopranos or, maybe a comedy or a drama or a reality show, things that we both can enjoy together. It's just kind of how we, get along in that arena. And I've noticed that when I watch shows with her sometimes, we both experience major synchronicities from those shows. Typically the shows that we experience major synchronicities from tend to have some sort of ritual or occult symbolism in them. So I wonder if there are shows that have some sort of occult symbolism or spiritual themes in them, Sailor Moon, Dark Crystal, does that allow them to maybe be like some sort of vessel for these synchronicities to potentially happen? Is there more of an energy to shows that have these
It
themes
could
in
be.
them? I know that's off topic what you're saying, but
It could be.
I've been thinking about this a lot lately.
It could be. And specifically with that show, like, I don't want to spoil it if y'all would ever watch
it's okay.
Spoil it.
Yeah, it's okay.
But
it's Sailor Moon. I
sorry
haven't
to
watched it in
anyone.
like 25 years.
But literally, like, Sailor Moon, you know, she... Okay. I won't go too in detail, but weird stuff starts happening in Tokyo. Her name's Usagi, which is like rabbit. But anyway, Usagi starts...
the moon rabbit.
Rabbit.
That's cool.
Yeah. And so she starts noticing weird stuff happening, and like Tokyo's in trouble, and it's like these weird evil entities or like forces are using things like computers and consumerism to like harvest the energy of people. They're using like jewelry stores. Everyone's buying materialism.
That's
they're
too real.
They're playing video games and
That's-
they're draining their energy.
That's real.
And Usagi
That's real.
Usagi like finds this cat who starts talking to her and is like, you know, you're Sailor Moon. And she awakens as the Sailor Guardian, who's the guardian of the moon, right? And so anyway, as time progresses, the other guardians awaken, and they're all protected by their own planet. So there's Jupiter, Mars, Venus.
Saturn.
Well, not yet, but she comes later. But Mercury, and they're all protected by their own planet. And their whole goal is to find the princess. Who's the princess? The princess of the moon. We have to find her and protect her because she possesses the legendary silver crystal, which is like the protecting life force of this solar system.
Wow.
Like without it, if these entities that are harvesting energy find it, everyone's going to die.
That's awesome.
Which is what happened to the moon civilization in ancient times. Wow. So you find out they're all reincarnations of the ancient beings.
That's why I love anime, bro.
They're they're literally they're like middle school girls that awaken as these ancient celestial beings that were reincarnated from before the Earth civilization was wiped out and renewed this time.
That is sick.
I know. And so
I gotta watch this.
and it's so good. And then you find out, like, this is a big spoiler, you find out Sailor Moon is the princess.
I knew it.
Well,
She's Princess Serenity, and then like she becomes this, like, literally when she in the future becomes the queen, she's like the lady. She's literally like the lady, and she can't be a Sailor Guardian anymore because she's just like this holy figure. And
That's
it's
amazing.
wow.
And then her husband and all.
Is it Tuxedo Mask?
Tuxedo Mask?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, you find out
That was always like my dude.
her and
in
yeah,
Sailor Moon.
no.
Like that's me.
Mama, yeah, his name is Mamoru. But they find out he was the ancient prince of Earth, and they fell in love. It was kind of forbidden, and then the Earth people killed everyone in the moon, and anyway, so it's like very tied in. Like she's
Yeah,
like the
very
lady,
spiritual.
but she's also like just
Yeah.
a human. And to me, like, I'm not the lady, but I have experience with the phenomenon, and I'm just like a girl. I'm just
Yeah.
like a normal girl.
Yeah.
And all of this crazy pressure of like, I don't mean to say it like that, but like this pressure of all of the story and everything happening. It's like, this is big stuff. And I'm just like a little girl.
yeah.
And like,
Sometimes it feels like too
sometimes
much.
it feels like that. And she's just experiencing this and fighting these evil forces. And then Sailor Pluto comes in and can like change time. And this like moment happens, and then the music is just so gorgeous. And I was like, that's what I needed. And my song doesn't copy that, but it's
the feeling.
the feeling that clicked for me.
So what I was gonna say when Ryan, because I think totally like it could be that esoteric, occult charged
Right.
shows
The charge.
let you pick up on some
Yeah.
stuff. But in my personal experience, it is normally when I am watching like a show, a movie, playing a video game, whatever, and there's something happens that I relate to.
Yeah.
That where I feel like I felt like that.
You resonate with it. And that
Yes.
resonance is what brings forth
Dude,
the idea.
the music our whole entire freaking Twice Born album we're working on is all shows, movies, and video games. It's all like stuff based off of that. And it's because like that's how ideas come through to me. I'll be like playing a game and it's the story. It's if I relate to something, I can just start to hear music in my head. It might not sound anything like the Thing's music, but it's just the feeling that comes inside of me. I'm like, oh my God, this is making something happen, and I can hear it so vividly.
Right.
But it's just like fleeting for me sometimes. It's like it's there and it's gone.
Yeah.
I want to like hone.
You're
the
gonna
craft
learn
of
how to
capturing.
You're
it.
gonna learn how to witness that.
Yeah, and
better.
I feel like I used to be great with that. I feel like I used to have it. I used to have the ability, and so I know it's still in there. I just need to like remember how to do it. I feel like I don't remember how to do it. It used to feel so easy. It just came and I got it, and I would know the whole thing. I'd get an idea and like chase it, and the whole song would be like written fairly quickly. These days, it's not as easy.
Yeah.
And I wonder if it's just like the stresses of growing up and having more going on in life, or I don't know, but it's...
Yeah, there could be a lot of reasons. I mean, it seems like the more you've got going on, the more space is taken up inside.
That's exactly what it feels like.
And it's harder to get the clarity.
That is
because it's like the
exactly it.
idea, like the business you're creating, the song you're writing, the whatever you're doing, it already exists. It's not that you have to make it. If you're trying too hard, you're doing it wrong.
For sure.
It's about accessing the clarity.
Yeah.
Or
making space for it.
maybe, yeah. I don't want to give too much of like what it is, because you could say it a million ways in a way that resonates with you. For me, it's about perspective. It's like shifting the perspective.
Okay.
Because something that I will say that was brilliant that Ignacio told me was like, you can never like fully quiet your mind. Like you never will. So it's about what do we do with that, right?
Yeah. How to work around it.
You can't shut it off.
Yeah.
And so if this is just my take, like if you're trying to shut off your brain, how much energy is that taking up, and how much space is that putting away for the creative stuff?
And he's a great resource for this kind of situation and challenge to overcome, because his background is he's a pianist, but like he has a specific background, right?
He's a very accomplished pianist.
Right.
Yeah. And he's been teaching for many years, and he writes music. Mm-hmm.
I seem to remember there was some specific...
I don't know the depth of everything he's done, but I know he's been a very accomplished teacher and pianist, and
like he writes a lot
composer.
of like Monroe's music for their meditation tracks.
Well,
he's
awesome.
like one of their music
for
guys.
Monroe,
Yeah.
and he's a sound engineer with Monroe.
Yeah, he's incredible musician.
And he works with their collaborating artist program, which is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Which is so exciting. I
Yeah.
can't talk about it too much right now, but we will.
You
in the
wanted
future.
me last night. You told me to not let you talk about that. So
Not too much. I can say that. Like I can say, because it is so important to me right now. It's like this is my whole thing at the moment, is really fleshing out to bring forth this music that I've been working on for 2 years. But I know now why it's taken us so long to do it.
yeah,
Is because it was meant for the timing. It had to come through. Now I'm collaborating with Monroe to make it something it wouldn't have been if we had produced it last year.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And it seems
So-
like the ideas are coming like so
And now
much
I
more-
can't slow them down.
Right.
It's
They
like,
are hitting.
okay.
Which that's when you want to bottle it. Is
Right.
when it's coming through. Like you just said earlier. Like when you have to work to make it come out, when you're like trying to force it out,
Right.
it doesn't work that
Yeah.
way. Like on our EP, that song Rose that we made, I wrote that song 5 different times, because every time I was forcing it to like,
Right.
it's gotta sound like this, it's gotta sound like this. Literally 5 full songs exist on my hard drive that just didn't make it.
Wow.
And it was finally when
What you came up with was great.
Oh, thank you. It was like I finally was like, I'm gonna shut everything off, put on some frequencies in my ears, and meditate, and sit at my desk and just.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna even pick up an instrument. I just want it to come to me first,
Yeah.
and it finally, eventually did.
Yeah. Literally, when I was making my Your Holistic Voice, I would just shut off my brain as best as you can.
Yeah.
And put in frequencies and just go.
Oh.
I made the entire program just by listening to frequencies. I don't even remember everything exactly. Like, I know the content, obviously.
Sure.
I had the education. Like, I'm not saying I just made it up. No, like, it has worth. But it's like how I pieced it together, I don't think I could have come up with.
You just went like flow state, like full. Mm-hmm. It just came out.
Mm-hmm.
What frequencies did you use?
Actually, at the time, I was just using whatever Monroe tapes I had at the time. I had like 4. I don't know what they were.
Is it like the ones that like?
I don't even know what the target.
It wasn't the Expand app.
No. It was like the ones I got from being there. I don't even know what the levels was.
So it's the ones that would be in the files.
Yeah, I just use those, and then I would just use theta waves.
Yeah.
I feel like I wish I had more context on those frequencies that we were given, and now I have like a different perspective on them. You know, I don't know. I'd be curious to see how those feel after having been like through the training and everything. But
right. Well, with this with Creation Station, I didn't go too in depth on it during the experience, but I did have some body leaving moments.
Oh, when you were at home.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I've done that before.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, I did. And there was one thing in particular that I didn't tell you last night, Ryan, because I was hoping you could share. Is it okay for you to share what his dream was?
Yeah.
Because I wanted to say this on the episode.
You want me to go ahead and share it?
Yeah, because something that I experienced in my out of body when I was doing Creation Station really resonated with me from what you said Dad dreamed about. First. And I didn't hear about his dream.
I'm going to share the dream first.
Let me find it
just
while
in
you're
case I
sharing
haven't
it.
said it on the show.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I have, at least on full disclosure. But when the eclipse happened, that was April 8th, which was 8 days after Easter, which to Dad, that was very significant. And, okay, so the day after the eclipse, I was here working on the house. And Dad was like, son, I had a dream last night. And it was so vivid. I was like, oh, cool. Tell me about it. And he said, well, I dreamed that there were these 7 suns on the horizon, and they were slowly setting, just descending beneath the horizon, and then they were gone. And then one big, massive sun started ascending above the horizon. And he said it came to him that the 7 suns were like the old powers of darkness going away, and that the one sun was the lady, God, the new reign returning, and that we were entering the shift into the age of Aquarius with the eclipse. I was like,
whoa,
damn.
Whoa.
Okay. And ever since, Dad's been like, we shifted. It was the eclipse. We're in the age of Aquarius. So I've been like, yes, sir. Like, you know, I take his dreams seriously. But yeah, Emily didn't know that. It's just kind of hard for us to communicate all the time when Dad lives in Fayetteville, and then we live here in Wilmington, and then Emily lives in Florida, and Jeremy lives in Greenville. So
yeah, and
obviously Junior's in Fayetteville. But
yeah,
Emily just heard that last night.
I heard that last night because we were watching Labyrinth, which is one of my very favorite movies of all time. Ryan would never watch it with me growing up.
I just saw it for the first time like this year.
What'd you think?
It was awesome.
It was wild.
Yeah, it was really cool. Because, well, you remember we watched Neverending Story for the first time like last year or the year before, something like that. And I fell in love with that. Yeah. And Labyrinth seemed like a similar vibe.
I've got a whole list of like those kinds of movies that have been like recommended to me, like Legend, Dragon Slayer, a few others.
Like dark fantasy movies?
Yeah. The Sword and the Sorcerer.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I love that vibe.
Labyrinth, I've seen it more times than I could ever try to count. It was one of my comfort movies when all the UFO stuff was happening. I watched it like every day.
There was like a 50-50 chance that I could hear Labyrinth coming out of your bedroom. Being in your, no, that's like not an exaggeration.
I always was.
It was either Ocarina of Time sounds or Labyrinth.
Or Skyrim.
Or
Halo.
Yeah.
Skyrim or Halo,
That's funny. Yeah. Yes, no,
it's like the only 2 games you ever played.
Labyrinth so much. I know all the words. But Ryan finally watched it with me, and I
told you the dream.
You told me the dream, and I was like, wait. What I've been, you know, for the past few weeks, I've been trying to figure out, like, what does that mean? That out of body thing that happened to me. What does that mean? And now I'm like, okay, it's coming together, because I don't remember, and I can't find it.
Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more, check out our other videos.
And before you go, don't forget to subscribe. See you next week.
Peace.